So this, what you see right here, my friends, is called a flap steak. In French, it's called bavette. Very popular cut in Brazil and Colombia. And I know all that because I just Googled it, which is something a lot of YouTubers will not admit, but I will, because I'm not here to lie to you. My arm is getting tired. Hey, listen, I want to show you an amazing marinade for this. It's one I've been making for a super long time. It's one of my go-to marinades. And then we're finally gonna get outside, grill it up, make some chimichurri, and just have the most epic steak sauce combination. This is gonna be one for the books. Now let's go! Okay, into a food processor or blender goes garlic, shallots, cilantro stalks, chipotle. Anyone else a huge fan of chipotle? I know I am. This may seem weird, but you gotta trust me. Soy sauce. Sergeant Gilbert! Straight in, you can do it coarse. Just a little bit of lime zest. By the way, this is how you zest a lime, I'm telling you. Straight in, now lid on, and we're just gonna stream in some avocado oil. Oh, that's pulse, there we go. And that's done. Get some down in the bottom of your marinating tray or whatever. Usually I use a large Ziploc, but I don't have one. Flat meat in, and the rest of the marinade on. Don't be afraid to massage it a little bit. I like doing it. Oh yeah. This is not a stretch tight ad. We're gonna cover it. And I'm gonna do this for 24 hours, but you can do it as long as you can handle the patience. Just do it at least for a few hours, okay? Okay, chimichurri time. So my chimichurri is not exactly traditional, so don't come after me. Basically what I do is use some modern sauce making techniques to bring out the most beautiful, vibrant green color, which just looks amazing with any kind of steak or meat. So for herbs here, I got basil, parsley, cilantro, tarragon, and we're gonna go out to the garden and get some chives and some mint. Chives right over here. These blossoms are awesome for a little garnish. So bring some water up to a boil. So what we're gonna do here is divide our herbs in half. The basil, you wanna pick off the stem. So I just have 2 bowls. You'll see why we're doing this in a minute, and it has to do with that amazing color. Parsley needs to come off the stem as well. Also the tarragon and the mint. Okay, so basically everything comes off the stem except for the cilantro. That you can use the stem. So just do all your herbs and divide them directly in half. Something else to note here, right? This is a lot of different herbs. You don't need all this, and you can use whatever herbs you like. You could get away with just doing parsley and oregano, which is more traditional. I would have put fresh oregano in here, but I could not find any today. So I'm just using what I have around. It's gonna be amazing. There's no rules in cooking, my friends. There's only guidelines and best practices. That's it. Ice water. Boiling water. Okay, now quickly get all half of your herbs in. Make sure to push them under like this. Not gonna get too much into science, but when you're blanching any kind of green vegetable or herb, you're bringing out this incredible green color. And you'll really see that when we blend it up. Okay, after 30 seconds, quickly strain and straight into that ice water. Make sure to get it under like this. Now leave that for another 30 seconds. Take some out and get as much water out as you can right here, and then onto some paper towel. We need to get this as dry as possible. And we'll sort of roll that up and just keep wringing out more water. And you'll see all those herbs, which was a huge amount, became just this. And this little green package is gonna add the most insane color when we have the final product of our chimichurri. You just wait. Okay, check this out. Not that. Whenever you're blending something that's green, you really want to keep it cold. So I threw in the blade and just the bottom part of my food processor in the freezer for about 15 minutes. And it's really gonna help. Okay, adding shallot and garlic. These blanched herbs, which I just chopped a little more, will make blending easier. Now this is optional, but I'm doing a touch of chili flake. It's a little avocado oil. We'll finish with olive oil. Kosher salt going in. Now lid on and blend. Adding a little more oil. And it's good when you do this to open it up and just scrape down those sides because little pieces will get pushed up on the sides like that. Now we'll add the rest of our fresh herbs and a whole bunch of olive oil. Recipe's always gonna be in the description, my friends. And continue to blend for about a minute. Now get that out. And it already looks insanely green, but as this sits in the fridge, it's gonna get even greener. I know you're confused right now. Let me tell you a couple things about this. First things first, we wanna get this into the fridge as soon as possible, which I'm about to do. Gotta keep it cold to keep that color. Remember that. Also, you're like, Sonny, where's the lime? Where's the vinegar? This is chimichurri. Back in my restaurant days where I worked for 17 years all around the world, 12 professional kitchens, I came up with this. I noticed that when I would put vinegar in this, or lime, or lemon, or anything acidic like that, within about 3 hours, the color is totally gone. It looks like swamp juice. So what I'm gonna do is make a 50-50 blend of red wine vinegar to lime juice, and I'll hold that separately from this. And so when I need to use some of this, I take out as much as I need, and I add the vinegar and lime solution to order. If you do it that way, this will stay so green and so beautiful for a week or more. Pro tip, Now cover this and get it in the fridge. All right, back to the beef. Oh yes. I'm gonna actually take a couple little twigs here. Still using the old grill. I got the Traeger Ironwood 885 inside. I still need to unbox and set up. I am gonna make that video in case anyone is wondering. But I'm just gonna use one of these little coal chimneys or whatever they're called and light it up like this. Should be good. Take a little torch here. That should just start right up. I'll just set this thing over the top. Just dropping in this hardwood lump charcoal. Big piece. We'll let it roll. All right, we're pretty fired up. I'm gonna move that over. It's hot, that's hot. Probably use tongs. So I'm gonna put these coals off to one side because I wanna start this meat on indirect, let that fat render, and then finish it off to get some nice char. First things first, a couple little grill tricks everybody should know. I should have done this part when the grill was cooling down, but I didn't, so we're doing it now. And I'm just gonna clean it with a big metal brush. First, here I've got a white onion sitting in some avocado oil. And this, a lot of you probably know this, is just the best way to clean your grill and at the same time leave this beautiful onion scent that will get into the meat. Do that everywhere. So I'm gonna start by putting the meat over here and we'll rotate this a few times. I wanna start it over here so the fat can kind of render out a little bit before I transfer it over to the hot side. This way when I do that, there'll be less fat and we'll get less flare-ups going on over here. And I'll just close that a little bit as well. Okay, I'm gonna rotate this after about 5 minutes. Also something to note here, I'm putting the thickest end more towards the coals so this doesn't overcook. All right, let's get some color on this thing. Oh gosh, it's starting to rain here. No, Colorado is unpredictable. It's starting to rain. So I'm gonna flip this. Good amount of char, could use a little more, but that's what we're dealing with. I mean, but it does look delicious. Okay, rain is really picking up. I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off. I took it out at about 130 internal. Usually I would cook steak a little less, but for flap steak, I think that's better. Okay, now while our steak rests, let's finish the chimichurri. As you can see, it's extremely beautiful. Just take out what you're gonna use today, like we discussed earlier. That looks good. And here I have my 50-50 blend of red wine vinegar and lime, and I'm just gonna add a little by little and just mix that in and give it a taste, just a touch more and we're good. And this is just preference, right? So you have to figure out what you like, but for me this is great. And then, you know, I'll just hold this in my fridge and use it when I need it. Oh my God, I can't tell you how good this tastes. Okay, let's slice this beef. So I actually took the tail end of this off because it was a little more done, and I used that for this incredible Mexican torta sandwich that's on TikTok, if anybody wants to go over there and check that out. So I'm sure most of you know this about cutting meat. You wanna cut against the grain, right? So all these grains are running this way. You can see that. It's easier to see when it's not cooked, but you can still see it now. And so I'm not just gonna slice it like this because the slices would be way too long. So what I'm gonna do is cut it into segments, like so. And then, look, that is just perfect for flap steak. Then what we wanna do is slice against the grain this way, you see? As thick or as thin as you want, that's up to you. Oh man, woo-hoo-hoo-hoo, gosh, it's perfect. Little lime on here, and just dip it up. Oh. And enjoy. It's really just kind of as good as it gets. You know, sometimes you just gotta go with a classic fridge attack. Oh, what am I doing? Okay, this hip sideways. This is what we call donkey kick. Definitely give this one a shot. You will not be disappointed, my friends. And until next time, you know I love you. My voice cracked and I'm out.